Hello, hello, my beautiful Taurus. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. I don't have as much time these days to just like wander off into the wilderness, but I did today, so I wanted to bring you guys along with me. I hope you enjoy the scenery and that the water, rushing water next to me isn't too loud, but we're going to do the best that we can. Taurus, okay, you have the Orphan, the Destroyer, the Queen and the Vow, the Tear, the Threshold, and the Womb. It's funny because when I was driving here earlier today, there's a song on the radio. I love it and I hate it at the same time. And I feel like this is kind of the energy here, you know, because it's like this idea of like there's something that you love that you like simultaneously, it's like all of the love that you have for it makes you resent it in some way. You know, I mean, I think about like, you know, your family and you're like, you know, you love your family, but like, fuck them, you know what I mean? like that's a real feel, you know? And I feel like there's an idea here of, and this has been in your reads for a while, Taurus, just this idea of like eating woes. Like somebody handed you a bag of woes and was like, here, eat this, you know? And a lot of that had to do with abandonment. A lot of that had to do with not being good enough, not being lovable enough, not being, you know, like worthy of time, effort, and attention. And it's like worthy, not worthy. What? What? Absolutely not. Absolutely, you are worthy. You are worthy of all the time and energy and attention. And you know, I almost feel like there's an idea here of like you pushing it away because you didn't feel worthy of it. Like, but destroying that mentality. This has been a long time coming of like having to break down this idea, having to break down these self-restraining beliefs that you've acquired because you got dealt a shitty hand. But being dealt a shitty hand does not negate your value or your worth. It just means you got a little bit more to work through. You know what I mean? It means you just got to push a little bit harder. And is it fair? No, but I've yet to encounter anything in life that felt fair. So there's that. I don't know. But in releasing this mentality of abandonment, you know, there's that sense of just like sadness and release of, you know, like sometimes you just gotta like cry about it, you know, and that's good. That's healthy. You're releasing it. You're allowing for that pain to like cleanse you. And it like, and of course you hate the process of having, like, why do I have to cleanse? Why do I have to do this? You know? And it's like, well, because you're going to do so much more. And people who don't go through it, who don't endure and overcome, they're like fragile little things that can break and shatter, you know, and like, let them break, let them shatter. That's like, don't envy them, their fragility. I promise you that when you stand in your strength, when you stand in your worth, like, fragile bitches be damned. You feel me? Because you're strong. You're a motherfucking Taurus. Come on. And you have made a promise to yourself or to another person that there would be safety and there would be security. And I feel like there's this, the Queen is the idea of influence. And I do feel like Taurus, you guys are being influenced by somebody who's like, sometimes you have to let things run their course before you can approach them, right? Like, if I were to step in and demand anything or attempt anything and I'm stepping into the middle of a battlefield, I'm just going to get blown up. It will be no more. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's an idea here of like, you've been in that battlefield and you've been eating those woes, but somebody's saying to you, listen, like, that's not because you weren't worthy. That's not because of anything else. It's because you were behind barriers that were protecting you from the war that was going on. But I was not. You know what I mean? And it's kind of this idea of like there's safety and there's security and there's worth and there is value. And I think you trusting in that and stepping forward into something that is far more secure than you've allowed yourself to believe you were worthy of. Taurus. I took these cards out, but I don't know where I set them. What in the world? Oh, here they are. They kind of blended in with the rocks. Okay, Taurus. 6 minutes in. Sorry, y'all. Okay. The Chariot and the 9 of Pentacles. Strength. What is it? I love it and I hate it at the same time. You and I drink poison from the same vine. Sorry, that song is just like in my head. So we have the Chariot, Strength, the King of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles, which again is just this idea of like having to really like push through, because it's a legitimate feeling to be angry and to feel like, why the fuck is this happening to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Right? And it's not always about what you've done to deserve things. Listen, the world that we live in is cruel. It's selfish, self-serving. You know what I mean? It will kick you to the curb and then tell you that it was your fault that they ran you over. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the world we live in, and it's unfortunate. And it takes a lot of strength to be able to function in it and in a way that actually impacts change to people around you, because it's we live in a world of convenience, and it's convenient to be a nasty person. It's rewarded. It's enabled. It's encouraged. And you have to find the strength to push past giving in to that. You know, you eat enough woes, it slows you down pretty good. And it takes a lot of strength to overcome that. And I feel like you're making a decision to start overcoming it and go. Move past your fears. Move past the abandonment. Allow for that pain to wash over you and allow for the experience, because it's like, I think of baptism. You know, just like when you're baptized in an experience, you know, you're changed. You can't experience it, right? But when you look back at it and you see it through, you know, because 2020, hindsight's 2020, right? When you look back and you see like the version of you that you've become, there is something very, like, even though you've had to go through this baptism of negative life experience, when you are emerging from the other side, you are cleansed of the things that were holding you back previously. And there's beauty in it. There's beauty in the pain. I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes it's just like a question of like the balance of life, you know, like you can't understand one thing without another. And therein you have the interconnectivity and you know, like the reason that we need other people in our lives, the reason we need to experience things that we experience. Do you know what, like, does that make sense? The Moon and the Two of Wands. Well, yes, Taurus, because I do feel like you are having to lean in on your intuition, right? You're checking back in with yourself. Who am I? And and what is it that I stand for? You know, if I stand for love, if I stand for safety and community and a safe space, am I creating a safe space? You know, or am I engaging in, you know, creating a tumultuous environment on behalf of people who are warriors in a time of peace? Do you know what I mean? Or warriors who, not even necessarily a time of peace, but, you know, like, it's the idea of, like, if you go to war, and you can be at home. I've seen this with, you know, with homeless people. God, it's been years ago, but I took care of this guy. He was a transient person, and he came through every year around the same time of the year. And so everybody in the community knew who he was, and, you know, he was very musically inclined and artistically talented, and so he hit it off with all the musicians and the artists in this little town. But he got caught in the alleyway by some townies who bashed his face in. And, you know, I was letting him stay with me, and honestly, he was teaching me about how to be homeless, because I was about to lose my home and everything, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have anywhere to go or anybody to rely on. So, you know, except for a mother who was extremely abusive, and, you know, he showed her colors enough to know. But I digress. He couldn't sleep in a bed. He had to sleep on the floor. And he would have night terrors. And it was just like this, like, even though he was in a safe space, even though he could have slept, you know, on a couch or in a bed, like, he couldn't do it. And I feel like there's this idea of, like, you're dealing with people who it's like they're in a safe space, but they don't comprehend what that means. And so they're fighting it every step of the way. And so you have to follow your intuition to move into this and be a safe place. I want to say for people who just don't know what it is to feel safe. And that's no small task. And what a beautiful thing that you're at a place where you're strong enough to do that now. All things for the good. Taurus. Oh my gracious, seriously? It's like half the damn deck. Oh, okay. Taurus, I love y'all. Okay, we're gonna start with majors. Whew. Okay, so majors, you have the Emperor, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. Because you have acquired a wealth of knowledge through this experience. You've acquired a wealth of empathy. You know, you don't know until you've walked through somebody's shoes, like what they've really experienced and what they really have, like the understanding that they've acquired. Taurus, you're patient and you're kind, and I feel like you are embodying your patience and your kindness so that you can really make decisions that are safe and loving and beneficial for all. Taurus. Whew. So what else we can get for y'all? The self. Yes, because you're honoring yourself. You're honoring who you know yourself to be. You're honoring your gifts and your talents, and you question those and you push those to the side on behalf of people who were like, they didn't know how to, you know, but just because they can't sleep in a bed and be safe and comfortable doesn't mean that you can't. You know what I mean? Like, their trauma is not yours to, like, you don't, it's not your job to carry that burden. You can hold a space for them to, you know, come down from that. But you don't have to be in that energy. And you've been in that energy, and you've been fighting your way out of that energy. Like, I am not this person, and I am not that person, and I am not this person, and I'm my own person, and I can make my own decisions, and I can, you know what I mean? And you've been really just like battling for that. And I think that you are really coming into yourself in such a way that you're able to step forward and create that security, because because you're Taurus. That's like literally, you are security. All right, Taurus, I love y'all so much. Shout out to Rue if you're listening. Love you, BB. And if this video resonates, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I will see you all again soon. Bye.